The last week of the playoffs has now come to an end. The Super Bowl matchup is set, but before we start looking forward towards the big game, I want to take a look back at the last playoff games of the year. But before we analyze these games, please leave a like and sub. I'm trying to grow this channel, so any little bit helps. Anyway, let's get back to the games. What a disappointing game for everyone except Eagles fans. Divisional matchups like this are usually close, hard-fought matchups, but this wasn't close. The Commanders started off with a long, methodical drive that ended in 3 points. But the Eagles set the tone with a one-play touchdown to take the lead. And after the Commanders fumbled on their next drive, the Eagles took a 2-score lead and never looked back. The Commanders tried to make this a game a few times, but anytime they got close, they fumbled it away. Meanwhile, the Eagles just kept piling on points, never giving Washington a chance to breathe. The playoff inexperience of the Commanders really showed in this matchup. 3 fumbles lost in a playoff game is not acceptable. All of those fumbles were huge momentum swings, preventing Washington from really making this competitive. Jaden Daniels didn't have his best game, but he was far from the reason they lost. Drops and fumbles won't help any quarterback. The defense was also no help. This was the first playoff game in history that a team scored 50 points. Sure, one of the touchdowns was in garbage time, but the 48 other points weren't. Despite of all of that, it was still a great season for the Commanders. Jaden Daniels has a bright future ahead of him. This team certainly has the pieces to compete, as if they can solve their free agency problem. They just need a few more pieces on defense to really hang with the big dogs. Meanwhile, the Eagles honestly surpassed my expectations. This was their best offensive performance I've seen from them all season. This is where their playoff experience came in clutch. Saquon showed why he should honestly be considered for MVP. He's been tearing up teams in the playoffs. The Commanders had no answers for him, and their defense was harassing Daniels all game. The turnovers in this game was also a huge difference. If they played like this throughout the playoffs, I would not have thought they were fraudulent. To be fair, it's one game, but if they can play like this in the Super Bowl, they have a solid chance at winning it all. This was a fun game to watch, outside of the penalties and streaming services breaking. But this was the competitive matchup we were expecting from these two teams. Though everyone knew in the back of their mind that the Chiefs were going to somehow pull out a win. The Bills didn't start great and immediately gave the Chiefs the ball after a 3-and-out. The Chiefs took this opportunity to drive down the field and score a touchdown. But the Bills would answer back with a field goal. After a rare Mahomes fumble, the Bills would go down the field and score a touchdown to take the lead. This back and forth would continue into the fourth quarter with both teams trading blow after blow. But now we get into the fourth quarter where all the Chiefs' black magic occurs. The fourth quarter starts with a controversial 4th down call. I know emotions are riding high, but this was really an inconclusive call. But then the Chiefs would go down the field and score a touchdown to retake the lead. But Buffalo would also go down the field and score a touchdown to tie. The Chiefs would get a field goal on the following drive to retake the lead again, but they left a ton of time on the clock. Now it was the Bills' time to shine. And they don't come through. Kincaid had a chance to catch the ball, but Spags honestly dialed a blitz at the perfect time. The Chiefs would end the game soon after, and now they just have to get through the Eagles to reach the three-peat. The Bills, in what was thought to be a retooling year, managed to reach the AFC Championship. Would be a massive achievement for any franchise, but the Bills were looking for more. They looked to finally beat Mahomes in the playoffs and get Josh Allen his first Super Bowl appearance. But this was not in the cards this year. The Bills' defense didn't do enough to stop the Chiefs, and the Bills' offense didn't make critical 4th down conversions. I know it's hard to get every single one, but they really needed to against the Chiefs. The refs were far from the only reason the Bills lost here. The Chiefs clutched up, the Bills did not. As hard as it is to say, congratulations to the Chiefs for making their 3rd straight Super Bowl. They play their best football when it matters most in games. That's why they only have 1 loss this season with their starters playing. Sure, luck plays a factor in many of these wins, but no team has been able to finish the Chiefs off. And now they are 4 quarters away from claiming another Super Bowl title. Just looking a little ahead to the Super Bowl, we honestly got the least interesting matchup of the possible ones this Sunday. We could have gotten Chiefs Commanders, the rookie trying to take down Goliath, Or maybe Bills vs. Eagles. Josh Allen trying to claim his first Super Bowl against one of the top defenses in the league. Or in my opinion, the most interesting matchup, Bills vs. Commanders. Neither team has won a Super Bowl, and they were able to battle through adversity to get to this position. But no, we got a rematch of a few Super Bowls ago. Who else is rooting for the Meteor?